Hmm. Oh my gosh, does this work? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys. I don't even believe it. Hi. Oh my gosh, I don't even believe it. This is incredible. Hi, you guys. Thanks for being here. I was just sitting here fiddle farting around seeing if I could get this to work. Um, oh, hold on. I don't even know if I have my microphone connected. Can you guys hear me? Let me see this. Um, wow. Tesla is in the other room. So, okay, I got my account reinstated back in October, but every time I went to log in, it would tell me that I wasn't getting my channel back. But they had already told me that my channel was coming back, and it's been sitting here. Um, I don't know why I just want to cry right now. This is so crazy to me. Um, this was totally I'm not prepared for this. I have nothing really to tell you guys other than I'm back. I wasn't expecting anyone to be in the chat, certainly. I knew that I was going to test going live. I didn't know that it was going to work because also it was telling me that I had to um apply to go live again. Like even though I got my account back, it said you need to, um, you have to go through a process in order to live stream. And so it told me it was going to be about 24 hours, and that was like 10 minutes ago. So when I hit go live, I did not think that it was going to go live. I also didn't know that people were still active over here. So I'm really excited. I don't know why this just feels right? It feels emotional, it feels weird. Obviously, YouTube is where I got started, and, I haven't been able to be on here for many years, and, it's been nice. I mean, these other platforms are really nice and everything, but it just feels like there's a, like, just I've been, like, living in an echo chamber, especially on Twitter. I mean, even though they brought us back on Twitter, I can't get outside of, they obviously are not letting my account go anywhere. So it's been really frustrating. Social media has been very frustrating, and I know for you guys as well, probably. Wow. This is wild. So I don't even know, like I'm seeing some people say that it's been ages since they've seen me. I don't know if any of you guys like literally have did you really lose track of me? Cuz I have been around but on, other platforms and stuff like that. Thank you. It feels like home. It is me. Yeah, I've been on Pilled, I've been on Rumble. Well, I'm glad to see that you guys are here. You did lose me. Well, I is back. And I have, new stuff that I'm doing, and now I'm excited to bring these things over to YouTube. It's kind of fitting too, just because I I've been like I don't know, I've been feeling more called to talk to people outside of that kind of bubble. And I've been feeling like that for a long time, but I just haven't been able to do it. And they've really sequestered us, really on every platform. I mean, do you guys feel that way? Do you guys feel like you are just stuck in like the same kind of, bubble? Let me see. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Everything looks different. Well, if you guys will remember, if you will, that I used to do my live streams from my phone. I literally had my phone. I had this, it's actually one of those stands that like a conductor would use, and it kind of tilts up, and I would stick my phone on it, and then I had my headphones, and I would just stick one of my headphones in my ear and literally just raw dog it. I didn't have any streaming software, nothing. I just would go live from my phone. And this is just wild. I am alive living. Weird. Well, what have you guys been up to? Like, do you guys are you guys obviously you guys are still watching content on YouTube. What kinds of things are you watching? And is it the same kind of stuff that we were all watching back then? Or is it tell me about you guys? Yeah. Mm. So really like the same kind of stuff. Um, yeah, I have been watching I like never got on TikTok. Deep diving for more truth. I love it. I never got on TikTok because I was kind of against it. And then I took a hiatus and from everything, and I really just went on there to start watching content of just I just like I wanted to blue pill for a while. I'm like that guy in the Matrix who's like, I know the steak is fake, or yeah, the steak is fake, but it's it's still delicious or whatever. There was just like I just wanted to blue pill. Well, not necessarily blue pill. I can never unlearn the things that I've learned, but I wanted to just tune out for a while and watch people dancing in their living rooms and watch cute videos of animals and babies and um Taylor Swift music. And I don't know if I'll go as far as say pop culture, but like I just wanted to just kind of check in with the rest of humanity for a little while. And I will say that it was really uplifting because not only did I find that just human beings are being human beings out there still, and every social media, it's like it's a little bit of everything, right? It's people at their worst, but it's also people at their best. And what I was finding on TikTok was that there was a lot of really raw, vulnerable content on there. You don't see that on Twitter. Twitter is all like, people trying to outdo themselves to be the smartest guy in the room, which is cool. Like it's got its place. And I used to love that. That was my jam for a really long time because my favorite thing was just trolling the deep state and being able to say little quips and like maybe have a few people see it. And that was what was fun on Twitter. It was also a really great place to get news. I've been really careful not to click on any or spend any time watching any content on Twitter. I'm sorry, on TikTok that's news, because I literally made an effort to not see it. And I've heard, I don't know if this is true. We know that all of these platforms are gauging your how long you stay on content and things like that, so that they can customize the algorithm for you, or feed you the things that they want you to see. But I've also heard on TikTok that it's gauging, like it's looking at you through your camera, and it can gauge whether you're like leaning in, are your pupils dilating, stuff like that. So it can really tell what you're interested in. And obviously that was another reason why I didn't go on there for a long time. But then when I finally did, I was like, well, I don't want to give this app the impression that I want anything to do with that, because I really did want to just unplug from the news cycle and all of it. And I don't see any of that stuff. I see all like baby and animal videos. I see a lot of stuff about spirituality because I'm still very into that. I see all the things that I want to see and nothing that I don't. Like every once in a while, if something pops up, I'm just like, nope, scram. And I will say that the algorithm has been very good to me over there and keeping me uplifted and keeping me connected with just human beings. And so anyway, um, Twitter has been very lackluster for me, and I just don't like it anymore. It's never been the same since we all got purged. You have to unplug from time to time. Absolutely. I'm sad about David too. Michael says, I took a break too. I talk to people if they ask, here to help more than change minds. Let people find it on their own. Well, yeah, but and the other thing is that I was finding on TikTok is everybody is awake. Like it's not just one pocket of people. There are I mean, these people are actually waking up more rapidly than, a lot of us did. So it's happening quickly. That makes me happy because it's bridging that gap more and more. I mean, the reason that I was drawn to, and I guess I don't even know, do I have to be careful what I say on here? I have no idea. Like, as far as I know, once upon a time, we had to dance around certain words, and well, it didn't really work for us, did it? um, but the Q stuff, when I part of the reason that I was drawn to that was that it was like you're not one of the things was the right left paradigm is an illusion, and they're pitting you against each other on purpose. They're making you separate yourself into these boxes. And we were all very clear on that. It didn't mean that we were suddenly like, oh, none of the politics don't matter anymore, as far as like there's no difference between the two. Yeah, there's a difference. But it was about saying like that just because these people over here have a different perspective doesn't mean that they're your enemy. We're all human beings. Like the only people that are our enemy are the people that are actually out there doing evil and keeping people suppressed and lied to, whatever, which I think everyone can get on board with. But somehow I feel like a lot of those people that were with me in that community and in that like in that notion of let's wake up from dividing ourselves kind of went back to it. Like kind of went back to um just isolating themselves and looking at everybody else as others, and it has been depressing for me. And um the more I kind of because I retreated, the more I kind of went back and had contact with people who I didn't think were awake. I didn't think were capable of being awake. I kind of was like, oh man, they're not getting it. They really are. So it's still an a-hole on here. That's disappointing. Well, I'm happy to connect. Oh, I'm like, I got a notification on my phone from YouTube, and I'm like, what if it's telling me I'm live? That would just be so weird. I don't think I'm logged in on this. I don't know what I am. Uh, yeah. So, and the other thing that was really frustrating is, okay, when something happens on YouTube, maybe you guys know this, you can't just contact YouTube. You have to, you have to contact them on Twitter, and that's the only way to get a hold of somebody. And it's like this humiliation ritual that you have to like publicly be like, can I has my account back, please? And I don't know, I just think it's embarrassing. So I was going kind of around and around with them. They kept telling me like, oh, try this, and then they would bail on me, and I'm like, no, but I've tried that before. And then I would tell them that, and they just disappeared. So finally I was just like tweeting the same thing over and over, and I was like, can I please just get somebody to go and like help me in my DMs, because I saw them doing that with other people. And I got a message from them today, or no, I got so they went into my DMs like last week or something, and they were like, yeah, we'll help you. And I was just like, yeah, I guess I won't hold my breath. I said thank you. They're like, we'll get back to you. And then today I logged in, and I had a message from them. They're like, oh, we reinstated your channel. And I was thinking to myself, that's not what I needed. It was already reinstated. So I just figured it was going to be the same thing. It was going to be the same problem. Like my channel would be there, and I'd go to log in, and it would tell me that I didn't, that I wasn't going to be reinstated. But it did something different. And I went and I logged in, and I'm like, wait, I think I'm logged in. Pretty wild. But yeah, I don't know what the future holds. I definitely feel a shift. I've had many shifts in my life over the past few years, and I don't know what comes next. And I don't just mean for me. Like I know where I'm kind of I know what I'm focused on, and it hasn't changed much. I feel like, well, whatever. But I wonder what's next for us collectively because I don't know. Is it just going to be more of the same? You're still banned from Twitter? Yeah, go check. And that's so weird too. And I know that it was a lot of people that were banned because I lost 100,000 followers instantly. When that purge happened, I took a picture of when everybody was getting purged that day. I took a picture of my YouTube, or I'm sorry, my Twitter profile, just for uh, nostalgia, and so I can see exactly how many people I had following me. And then the day I got brought back, I had, I was down 100,000 people. And I don't think those were bots, although I do think, obviously bots are an issue on Twitter. And I think all of us have bots. And when they do clean out those bots from time to time, I'll lose, some more followers. So I know bots are an issue, but you're not going to tell me that I had 100,000 bots following me, especially when real life people were banned and are still banned. So I mean, there's nobody out there doing a poll asking people how, like, finding out exactly how many people. Obviously, only Twitter knows how many people they actually banned that day. But I think it's hundreds of thousands. More alien disclosure? I think so. I mean, I think there's going to be a slow drip. I mean, that's never going to stop. It can't stop. The wheels are off. But it's all the same. Hey there. It's all the same as it was. It's all the same stuff that we already knew. Like there's nothing new that we're getting. So I don't think it's disclosure. It's more like confirmation. I know. It's been 6 to 8 years since we've seen you. I know. Hello. I'm so tickled to see you guys. It's really, really nice. And then, like the whole dead internet theory. Like it feels like a lot of people are kind of like have moved back into the real world. Like there was a time there, you guys remember it. There was a time where we were all online chronically, and it was so much fun. Like it was so much fun. And I don't think Twitter will ever be like that again, for sure, but I'm not sure if anything is going to be like that again. I do think that this kind of content is not going anywhere. I think that this is the kind of I think that, this is we're going to stay in this format, and we might even go more into the format of just people connecting this way rather than watching TV. And it's interesting cuz so I have a Rumble channel, and I do shows over there, and I do a show called When Are My Socks, which is I just go into like woo-woo stuff, and or odd conspiracy theories, spiritual stuff, occult stuff, just the weird things that I really like. And I did an episode a few weeks ago on John Teeter, and he was the guy that was supposedly the time traveler, I think around 2001, like right at the start of the internet. And he was on these message boards, and he would sit on there and do Q&As with people, and he would talk about what it was like in his timeline in 2036, I think. And he talked about how his timeline would be different than the one that we're on, but there would be similarities for sure, and that he was seeing us heading in the direction of his timeline, even though we were obviously off kilter a bit, because in his timeline in 2015 there was a civil war in the United States, and then that civil war had obviously destabilized the United States, so that Russia and China and whoever else took advantage of the United States. That's what his story is. But the thing that I thought, there were many things that I thought were very interesting about what he said. And he was very detailed about his time machine, how it worked, the science behind it. He showed pictures of it. Still to this day, as far as I know, nobody has been able to say, like, oh, that's just a bunch of parts from this machine and that machine and whatever. He was very detailed. He wasn't trying to sell anything. He wasn't trying to be famous. In fact, he let us know that wasn't even his real name. He didn't want to ever be found. He just wanted to be here and hang out for a couple of years and be with his parents and himself, who was 1 or 2 years old, and at the time that he came back. And but he talks about some of the things that were in the future. Like, he talks a lot about solar energy. He talked about iPhones prior to there being an iPhone. He talks about whatever. But one of the things that he says is that because there was this civil war and they got to such a point where people were so combative with each other, it literally caused our destruction, that what emerged after that was this society of people that were more focused. The internet still existed, but they were more focused on their neighbors and their neighborhood and their immediate areas. They were more oriented into their families. They were more focused on religion, but not organized religion and not dogma, but like actually, reading the Bible and, whatever. And he also said that the internet still exists and like TV still exists, but that most of the content he basically described this, like YouTube, that it would be just individual people doing shows, talking with each other, communicating. But he also said that it's like there would be a lot of people doing skits and stuff. So it really did just replace TV, and I could see that happening. You're back? Yay! Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Glad you checked. Hello, Joe. Nothing new, but it's not for us. It's for the ones who have no clue. They're about to learn our true history and our true government program spending. Yes. The occasion for this surprise reemergence is that I got my channel back. I haven't had access to it for many years. I don't even know. When did I lose this channel? Was it 2020? January 2020, I think. No, that's when I lost my Twitter. It was April. But I don't remember if it was April of 2020 or 2019. I don't know. Lightning just gave me a power outage for a split second and I lost my internet. Yeah, I've been hearing there have been lots of storms. I'm in Arizona, so we don't have weather. Amanda says, it's about to get wild. DNA truth, off-world interaction, true history, which will challenge those who, with Christian dogma beliefs. We are shifting our world into where we were always meant to be. It feels that way, but it sucks. It's also hard. I've had a lot of Mandela effects again in the last month. Definite timeline divergences again lately. Yeah, I think my next When Are My Socks episode is going to be on Mandela effects. And I do agree with you. They've been ramping up, not just like collective Mandela effects, but do you guys have any like personal Mandela effects? Like things that you remember from your life and nobody else remembers it? I've been having those too. Also glitches in the Matrix. That was actually what tripped me down the rabbit hole on TikTok, because I was like, okay, well, I'll check it out. And then I saw this one video of a glitch in the Matrix where this woman found something. I don't remember what it was. It's like all of a sudden she had 2 of something. I was like, man, that's really interesting. And then because I watched that and my pupils dilated, I guess, I kept getting content like that. I was like, holy crow, there's a lot of this. So that's really fascinating to me. And I do think that was the other thing that John Teeter had said, was he said that in 2012, CERN would do something with particles that would then change timelines, and we would be able to, it was like the catalyst for being able to time travel. Well, lo and behold, in 2012, that's exactly what not with the time travel, but that's exactly what CERN did. And so there's a lot of belief that that was the very moment that our timeline splintered and all of these Mandela effects were created. Because I think, I can't remember what the first Mandela effect was. Maybe it was prior to that, maybe 2005. Am I wrong? Or when, like, there were Mandela effects prior to 2012, but I feel like 2012 is when people really started noticing it and it became a thing. But maybe you guys know better than I do. Last shoe to drop will be when we find out what happened to Seth. Joe said, my video about your video about the Philosopher's Stone was great. I just started researching Hermeticism not too long ago. Interesting synchronicity. Isn't it funny how that works? That is always how it has worked for me. As soon as I start being into something, it's right in front of my face everywhere I look. And I really, really love that. And yeah, Hermeticism is so interesting. I can give you a bunch of book recommendations for that. Internet can't be trusted anymore. It's all fake AI. Well, that's the other thing too, isn't it? AI has become very advanced just in the last couple of years. Like, do you guys remember the Will Smith eating spaghetti and what those look like? And now it's so different, you know? Let's see how fast you can get kicked again. Hey, Bev. Interesting that you got it back. That says a lot. Journey to Truth got theirs back too. They've been prepping pastors for alien disclosure. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, I thought they got theirs back a while ago, didn't they? I think actually they got theirs back on the same day that I got mine reinstated, but I couldn't get into mine. I'm like, knock, knock. Yes, John Teeter, Jacob. John Teeter, Jacob Heimerschmidt. I don't know why that just, okay. Chaos before the clarity. We're heading to a good space. I certainly hope so. Seeing videos the day before they're published. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Looking Glass, yes. Thanks, Will. Super cool. Well, had I known I was going to be going live, I might have brushed my hair. That's so wild. Yeah, and so, okay, I really think that my When Are My Socks show will be good for YouTube. Because again, that's another reason why I was drawn to do that show. Number one, it's the stuff I'm interested. Number two, I have no interest in being controversial anymore. It's not because you know what? You know why? It's not because I'm like suddenly a coward and I just don't, or I'm tired or burnout or whatever. Yes, I am all of those things. But it's more that I think the older I get and the longer I've been around, especially in this community, the more I realize, what do I know? Like, what do I know? I know what it looks like to me. But at the end of the day, I could still be wrong about so much. In fact, gun to my head right now, if somebody was like, okay, if you are wrong about something, like, tell me whether you're right about everything or if you're potentially wrong. And if you say that you're right about everything and you're wrong about one thing, the trigger goes off. Of course, I would be like, well, no, I'm certainly wrong about something. So then why am I going to sit and argue with anybody over it anymore? I'll argue maybe ethics, but again, those are things that are from my perspective and from what I've learned. It's better to just, like, you're not going to teach grown adults how to have ethics this late in the game. So it's better to just be ethical yourself, live with morality, live with integrity, and focus on the things that make you happy rather than like trying to force anybody along. Like, I was never a fan at forcing anybody into their awakening. I'm just not a fan of the friction. And while it was so fun for a time there to just like, like I said, heckle the deep state, I'm just not there anymore. And I don't feel like arguing about things. But I like the woo-woo kind of topics because it's non-confrontational. Of course, they're gonna be like, oh, you're an idiot, whatever. People get very triggered about whatever. It doesn't matter. You could do a show on spaghetti. There's gonna be somebody that's bitching in your comments. But I just don't I think I've just had a gut full of ego. Like I've had a gut full of being around people who are just pure ego, and I don't want to do that anymore. You know? Who's gotten it right? Like the people have gotten maybe some things right here and there, but then they get a lot of things wrong too, and they're like, "Well, don't look at those things." Myself included. I've made predictions that didn't come true. I thought things were happening when they weren't. I couldn't have predicted that this is the way that things would go down. Um, the you know, whatever. So, but I just don't wanna play that game anymore. You're in England. How very cool. How did you come up with the name with your sock show? So, I just wanted something goofy, and it's the idea that when you put how your socks are always going missing? Well, there's a conspiracy theory that your dryer actually opens up a portal to another dimension and that your socks get pulled into a different timeline. So that's why you are missing socks from time to time. So that's why the show is called When Are My Socks? Because they are in a different timeline. I don't know. Some lawyer in Tulsa, Oklahoma tried to patent JT's time machine. Oh, John Teeter's time machine. Oh, that's interesting. Nurse says thoughts on remote viewers. Seems like their content is popping up more. Yeah, well, I mean, we're getting disclosure more about the fact that the government has been using them. I used to be kind of friendly with a guy who was a remote viewer for the CIA, and I think it's legitimate. I can't do it. I've tried. I've taken like I spoke at a conference one time, and there was a girl there who is a remote viewer, and she was trying to teach the audience how to do it. And some people were actually like getting stuff. I was not able to do it, but I think that that stuff is real. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find something that I don't think is real at this point. I'm like, whatever. Um, I mean, like anything is possible at this point. And I don't see why. I mean, I know that psychic ability is real, and I believe that astral travel is real. Remote viewing is kind of like that, only you're just sending your consciousness, right? But with like everything, uh, there are always going to be grifters as well, I guess. There are always going to be people who are lying about it. I don't know. I've always said that the only way to get through this next phase that's coming, is to actually work on our discernment in a way that's not just like believing our eyes and ears, because they can even mess with those. They could project Jesus into the sky or even into your living room and make you hear his voice. And how are you going to know the difference between that? Like that doesn't come from your eyes and your ears and your brain. You have to work on your intuition. You have to become more psychic. You have to become more connected to something higher so that you can feel the difference of the frequency of something that is fake. Like, just like that person brought up AI. It's not just AI. They can do holograms. They can do skull to or voice to skull technology, all of that stuff. So we better work on our discernment beyond just trusting our eyes and ears, which is really sad. What are my hermetic book recommendations? I would have to go through all of them. I actually just pulled them out not too long ago. Some of them when I did the show on Thoth and Atlantis. But I think definitely I kind of want to just like go through my bookcases. Actually, like my bookcases here, I guess I do have like it's my books are actually higher up. You can't see it in I can't reach my camera to show you. But to go through each room in my house and just maybe do one video at a time, like do a short video of just showing you guys my books and what they are. The other thing is I thought today I need to go through and index all of my books. I need like the Dewey Decimal System in my house because I'll be like today I wanted to pick up the book East of Eden, and I know I have it somewhere. Where? I don't know. I don't remember what the spines of books look like, or even like sometimes I'll kind of remember how big it is, and that will help me find it. But but yeah, so I think I'm gonna go through my all my books and write them down and say where they are. Pull your dryer out. They are there with all the lint. Maybe, or maybe there's an alien wearing them. We don't know. We don't know that for sure. Will says, "Don't live in fear. They feed off of that. Ground and shield yourself." Absolutely A1 top tier comment. Fully agree with that. Timelines keep changing. So, which timeline are these remote viewers seeing? Looking Glass Tech. So that's an interesting thought. My feeling on it, my thought is I think the reason that we have Mandela effects is not so much about timelines splitting. I think it's more about them converging. So I do think that multiple timelines, that timelines will branch out and that different things will happen, but that everything starts to kind of shake out and even themselves out to kind of bring them back to center. And then they collapse again once they get close enough. And then that's when you have people from timeline A and timeline B being like, no, Kit Kat had a dash. No, it didn't. Um, I've never been fond of the idea that all realities exist at the same time. I do believe all potential realities exist. That all what did I just say? Where am I? Who am I? That all realities, all potential realities, how do I want to say this? That the realities exist in potential, that they're not actually all happening. Because think about that for a second. What would be the point of that? That no matter what you did somewhere out there, everything is going awful and you are making the worst decisions, or I don't know, that would mean that like on some timeline I'm out there murdering somebody. So that doesn't fly with me. I think that what would be the point of having free will if everything that could happen was going to happen anyway? I think multiple things can happen, but I don't think it's everything. I think the potential for everything exists. And once you make those choices, it's like the choose your own adventure. And it's like, okay, now turn to page 38. But eventually those choose your own adventure books convene, sometimes. I actually don't remember. It's been a long time since I've read one of those, but let's just pretend. When am I doing my next? What am I doing on my next sock show? I think I might do the Mandela effect on my next When Are My Socks? Ooh, Tennessee, nice. Joe says, I've had 7 near-death experiences. I don't think we actually die. We just keep shifting to different dimensions where you didn't die. Oh, that's interesting too. Well, then, like, but that does that mean that you just like live forever? I mean, like, certainly you'd have to die at some point. But I have heard other people with near-death experiences, or no, I've heard people talk about how they believe like they go through something where they almost died, maybe it's a car accident or whatever, and then it completely changes the trajectory of their life, or they're just things that are different about their life after that. And there is this belief with some of them that they actually did die and that this is like a convergence, or I'm sorry, this is a divergence from the original timeline where they did die. Remember, Jif is the peanut butter, Jiffy is the cornbread mix. Yes. Yeah, some of the Mandela effects I think are just stuff like that. But there are ones that I'm like, I swear that they are real Like, a personal one for me is the fact that supposedly, like, I remember when I was little coloring with Crayola crayons, and I'm very into color. I knew the name of all the different colors. Like, you could quiz me on all of the, like, sky blue and periwinkle and whatever, chartreuse. I remember coloring with a flesh colored crayon. I remember it distinctly because I think it's the most disgusting word in the world. It was basically like a peach colored crayon. But supposedly they stopped making those in like 1963. So tell me how I was coloring with brand new. I wasn't coloring with crayons that were 20 years old. So, but on this timeline, supposedly they discontinued or they stopped calling it flesh in the 60s and renamed it peach and then never manufactured it from there anyway or ever again. When your mission is over and you learn what you came to learn, then you die. Yeah, that's interesting. I think some people's mission sometimes can be like I think some people live more of a selfless mission in that they're more here to help other people. Like, I think that sometimes I think that people that die young, it's less their life was less about what they came here to learn and more about them sacrificing that in order for the people around them to learn things and be the catalyst for what they learn. Um, but, I don't know. Yeah, so, well, guys, I, uh I'm probably gonna scoot, but it's really nice just kinda chatting. So maybe I'll do this more now that I have this back, and I really hope that you guys will join me and, come back and hang out. I like this. This is my origin story, and this is what I always come back to. I like just hanging out and chatting with you guys about this stuff. Learning to live off grid, to write a book to help others. I love that. What an absolute dream. Oh, I don't even know how to end my live stream. So just sit here and watch me mouth breathe for a second. Oh, there it is. Okay, well, gosh, you guys, thanks for showing up. And I am going to be around and I'll hopefully get this figured out better and maybe get a schedule down to come and hang out with you guys. But please come back. It's so nice to see you. You guys have a great night.